Hey agents, what's up and happening? Yeah, basically this video is just to let you guys know that all of these builds that you currently see on YouTube, whether it's my build or somebody else's, all of the stuff that I was just opening some of these caches here to see what I'm gonna get. I'll do that afterwards. It's probably a bunch of bullshit anyway. So all of these builds here that you have, all of this will disappear after TU7, after TU7, in the update after that. So between TU7 and whatever comes after it, we'll have gear 2.0. The other thing is the internet in South Africa is really shit, so giving you any new gameplay, dark zone gameplay, is actually going to be impossible because it's not fun to watch, it's not fun to play. Teleporting, bullets not registering, all that fancy stuff. But this is the build I use now most of the time. This one, the AR spotter, it's almost similar to the rifle spotter. It's just two stuff I use most of the time. I haven't been using any damage to elites outside of the raid for the last few months. And also it's quite fun to get me used to the idea of damage to elites being taken out of the game in gear 2.0, so there won't be damage to elites anymore. So let me just show you this one. So make these builds while you can, guys, while it's still possible. If you still want to use clutch, I would recommend you do it now. You still have a few months to use it. I'm using technician for obvious reasons, to boost the skill a bit. And why I'm using the P416 is because of that long under barrel rail, which is the linked laser pointer. So my P416 has measured extra transmission. I'm not focusing much on that 20k because that's not the PvP damage, so that's why I don't mention anything about it. I put stability on the 20 rounds, crit hit chance. Okay, and I have the eagle bearer. Why I have the eagle bearer here is because of protected fire, and you can't mod anything on the, so it's only for protected fire. And if I don't have time to reload the P416, I can just jump to the eagle bearer for a bit more firepower. Still using the first wave F45 for the protected reload, which is still the holster talent, even though it doesn't say so, like over there. Standard night watcher killer mask with hazard protection, a bit of skill power, perfect spotter, and there's my utility mod, boosting me a little bit. The chest I use on most of these other builds besides the clutch one is bloodsucker. I don't use it on the raid build either. There I use perfect unbreakable, but as you can see, that's total armor 60.5. The 30% total armor roll, guys, that will disappear from the game. It won't be there anymore. In the next few months after TU6, there's going to be an update with gear 2.0, so these armor rolls, all the stuff will change. It won't be there anymore. But for now, still I have the two defensive mods and the red assault rifle mod I have on there, just to boost the output a little bit. I'm using an Alp Summit holster with 747 skill power, capacitive. Yeah, I couldn't really find anything else useful to put in this. Okay, I'm using capacitive. I'm not using any healing on this build, healing skills, but so be it, just to let the clusters follow me a bit longer till it finds a target. There's my utility mod and my other offensive. My killer knees, I'm using it with hazard protection to fill out the 100%, so I can't be bled. That's the reason for it. And I can't be hit with the EMPs. 381 skill power rolled on there. There's my two blue mods for a bit of explosive resistance, total armor and armor. My Fenris, I'm using the Fenris glove for the 10% assault rifle damage, and I rolled 11% on there. I don't want to mess up my gloves that I have 12% because I use them for other purposes, so 1% difference won't make that, it's not worth me destroying a glove I'm using. I'm using Terminate on there just to boost my skill damage a little if I manage to take armor off. My second piece Alp Summit is for extra 10% skill power, so I don't need to stack any skill power really as a attribute on the backpack, because the two-piece makes up for it. Spark I'm not using. It will never be active on a perfect spattle build. I don't see how you will be able to do it, but there's probably people doing it. I mean, I don't have the time to invest to try and get that to work. So why am I using perfect on the ropes? Because sorry, it's too much for me to manage my skills to get them to cool down to have it active. So that's why I don't use it. And that's the best armor that I have. Otherwise my armor can never be on this build, can never be above 400, and you do need 400 plus on a perfect spotter build. The cluster I'm using, that's just to that's mostly to fight the clutch players. For the PvP damage there is 122k. We don't look at that damage figure, that 491, that's in PvE, so well, I don't care about that. So we only talk about the PvP damage 122. I'm hoping to get another 98.9% mod on there while I can still use them. And the Restorer Hive, I don't really use that in PvP, but it helps a bit in a tough firefight. It'll keep you alive a little bit longer, maybe give you a few seconds to kill someone. So hopefully I can start adding gameplay again once the undersea cable breaks are resolved, affecting all international bandwidth leaving South Africa or entering it for that matter. PvP damage 13,725 per bullet, so you can add the perfect spotter to it. It's not a crit build, so I'm not going to mention anything about the crit. There's 51% assault rifle, nothing else. Damage to elites, you won't have damage to elites in the game anyway, so you might as well get used to it. And pulse resistance 50% that you get from the skill technician 3. Explosive resistance I get from the blue mods. 10% is better. It's not much, it's 10%. And there you have my hazard protection, which protects me from bleed, blind, burn and all that stuff. So if I get burned, I can still shoot my gun. If I bleed, I can't be affected by bleed, so I don't give away the damage from Sadus that the guys use the bleed, clutch bleed. So that's it, guys. I would say make your perfect spotter build, make your clutch build while you can, still use it. Go create the Dark Zone it's busy every night, so it's not like there's nobody to fight, but it is really with the Dark Zone is still I'm on PS4, obviously the Dark Zone is still being used. Well, I use the word used, but people are still playing in the Dark Zone, having fun. The PvP is fun, man. I mean, you can put down those if you know your way around. You can actually put down the 500k figure skating shotgun premeditated double barrel guys. Yeah, that's a long word, but you can get around it. As there are counters to this build, there's counters to all the builds, but the only ones that are you won't get the 500k armor builds anymore. So if you have the 500k armor build, Bloodsucker, just use it, man. You won't have it for much longer. And if you're a double barrel shotgun PvP guy, you won't be able to use all that armor anymore in a few months from now. So use it, fight this. Cheers guys, have fun.